Hey guys, it's Ricochet again from Thunderstruck Transport Services. Welcome to my channel, Nothing But Trucking. It's been a while since I've, let me roll this window up here, a little bit loud out there. There we go. It's been a little bit since I've done a video, several weeks actually. So if you've gotten used to them and I haven't done one, I apologize. I had the holidays, Christmas. It's now the 1st of February, so all of January we were pretty busy getting my business up into a different area where it was. So just kind of want to touch on that really quick. Just for all you drivers, owner-operators, new drivers that are just coming into it, or guys that have been a company driver for a little bit that's getting ready to become an owner-operator. I've been out here for like 37 years, give or take, since 1984. The second half of 1984, I graduated high school, went in the military, and was in the combat engineering squadron with the Red Horse, which is a Air Force outfit stationed over in Europe. So started off driving a truck there, running RGN, hauling heavy equipment and running the heavy equipment. We did pavement maintenance, built runways and things like that. So that's where I started my trucking career, was in the Air Force. So a few years over there in England and Germany and South Africa, a few places, and some other TDY places that I'm not allowed to mention. I guess, I don't know. But anyway, got back stateside and been running truck ever since. So thanks to Burt Reynolds and Jerry Reed with Smokey and the Bandit, I kind of got the bug to drive a truck since I can remember. I remember as a kid playing with my little Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars. I had a bunch of trucks. I'd recreate a lot of those scenes from Smokey and the Bandit. So anyway, I've been doing this my whole life. Why, I don't know. Sometimes I question myself, and I've been trying to get out of it for years because I've been doing it so long. I don't like the driving. And let me rephrase that. I like the job. I trust me, and I like the job. I hate being away from the house, and I hate being away from the family. So I think that's probably just now my age and how long I've been doing it. So I'm transitioning over to get myself out of this truck here this year, and so I'm going to be, we're starting, well, the business has already been started, Thunderstruck Transport Services, but we're going to start offering to owner-operators and small carriers or whatever, dispatching services, back office support, compliance type of thing. So we're not there yet. I mean, I'm just getting a lot of things set up, the foundation set up. I've always had the business entity has already been there, but just want to get other things set up, so that's what we're in the process of. Been doing all month of January. There's not a whole lot of things I need to do. It's just when I'm out on the road, it's not as easy to take care of the things I need to take care of. So, got my wife, she's going to be, doing this with me. I mean, she has, the whole time with Thunderstruck. She did most of the dispatching. We had a small fleet. I think anything over 5 trucks, I think DOT or IRS or whatever considers a fleet. I think we just had 5 trucks, 6, maybe 7, but not all of them were on the road, being broke down and whatnot. So yeah, I had a few trucks. And so the wife did most of the dispatching. I mean, I did too to help her out, but I mean, she did the majority of it. I did more of the keeping the trucks legal and compliant and the driver, compliance paperwork together, and just all of that stuff. And I enjoyed that. I enjoy building the business. I enjoy, doing the back office business stuff. So that's kind of what I enjoy doing, and it's what I think I'm pretty good at. So just a few things that, I just wanted to give a little bit of advice to you guys that are kind of new. When it comes to getting a trucking business, I've heard so many people have called or I've talked to that, said they've got their truck. Now what do they do? And I'm like, well, what'd you get a truck for? You ain't nowhere near ready. Everybody keeps saying, well, I'm looking for a truck. Don't look for a truck. You need to get the business. You need to lay the foundation first. The truck is going to be one of the last things you do. But first, you got to build the business entity. You need an LLC, and probably right off the bat, you're going to want to form it as an S corp, because once you get over like a $50,000, I think $50,000 is the cutoff, or is the start, is the plateau, is to where you'll start saving money with your taxes if you file it as an S corp. So I'm not going to get into the details of that. There's tons of videos out there about it that you can certainly learn from. But that's my advice. Don't take it as the God's word, but I mean, that's my advice. You can research it yourself and look at your business and decide if that's what you think you need to do. I think you do if you're in trucking, unless you're just a really part-time, you don't plan on making $50,000 a year. When you're setting up your business, though, don't use your home address for your business, even though that's, you don't have an office. You need to get an office, and it doesn't have to be a brick and mortar office. You need to get a virtual office. There's quite a few companies out there that offer virtual office addresses, and I'm not talking of a UPS store or a post office box. You need a physical office in an office building, even like Trump Tower. That's what these virtual offices do. Is these people, they'll get these big office buildings and they'll rent the buildings out to people that need the actual office space, but then they'll also lease or rent out just an address. So that's what you want to do. And I use a company out of Florida called Florida Registry Agent, and they have an office in St. Petersburg, a physical office, in St. Pete, and for a very nominal fee, I think it's like $120 for the year, I get a address and mailing service, or any business mail that comes to that office, because they're my registered agent as well. That includes a registered agent service too, by the way, and I'll get into that in just a second. But I have an actual address, and all the mail that comes in for my business, which would be like process service type of thing, all of that is emailed. They scan the envelope front and back, scan everything, mail it to me, email it to me, and I get like 20 or 30 of those a year included, which you should never have that anyway. So anyway, so now when and the reason you want to do that, guys, is when you're trying to get business credit, the algorithms of these lenders and banks and stuff like that will see that it's a home address, and boom, red flag, and you won't get any kind of credit at all, because they don't look at you as a legitimate business. And secondly, it's public knowledge, it's public information. So anybody, if somebody, gets pissed off at you, all they gotta do is look up at your business, and boom, they can get a Google map right to your house. And now with Google Maps, get a street side view of where you live. So you don't want to get that information out there. You want to keep everything separate from your personal and your business. You got to keep it think of those are two separate human beings, basically. Your business is a living, breathing entity just like you. It's just a digital version of you. That's your straw man is what that is. And of course, I can get into straw man with your birth certificates and all that stuff too. That's a whole other history lesson. But this is your straw man, your corporation, your LLC, or if you incorporate it, I would recommend you doing an LLC instead of a DBA because of the liability protection. I mean, honestly. But anyway, you need to get a business address and you need to get a business phone, not your cell phone. Again, that's another thing that flags these lenders is they'll see that it's a cell phone. They won't take you seriously and you'll be turned down. You won't be able to get any kind of business credit. So now those Grasshopper, Google Voice, there's quite a few of those types of services. They're voice over IP or VoIP, called VoIP for voice over IP protocol, voice over internet protocol. I think. Anyway, that's what you want to get because then that will show. I mean, that's an actual, not a cell phone. I don't know how those actually work when they're registered, but they work. So and of course, you just have that forwarded to your cell phone. Matter of fact, Google Voice has a business one. If you want a business one, it's like $10 or $20 a month, which is pretty good. I don't know all of what the benefits of that is, though. I don't need it, I don't think. I'll look into it more, but I think just a regular free Google Voice is all you really need. But that gives you an established business address, so when somebody Googles the address and they see a Google Live, I mean, it's going to come up with the actual office. You can get one at Trump Towers. It runs you more than a couple $100 a year, though. It's more like several $100 a month. But I don't think many trucking companies would look legitimate, especially owner-operators, if you had an office in Trump Tower. They'd probably want to know, what are you hauling and which cartel do you work for? Anyway, so those are just a couple pieces of advice when it comes to forming your business. Don't use a home address. Don't use your cell phone. Get a virtual office and a cell phone and a phone number, and register that with the Secretary of State that you're going to form your business in. And then, of course, get your EIN number. All that stuff is so easy to do. You can do it yourself, or you can hire somebody like my company that can do that for you too. Get all that stuff set up for you. Then once you get the business entity done, then it's time to apply for your go ahead and get your DOT. It takes about 30 to 45 days to get all of that set up. That's why I would recommend you do that before you go out and start shopping for a truck. You can probably do it simultaneously, I suppose, but get the business set up first. Get your DOT established. Do you need an MC number? That's some people don't even know what the difference is between DOT and MC. DOT is fine if you're only going to run interstate, but if you're going to cross state lines, and run intrastate, then of course you need the MC number. Might as well just get them all. So yeah, you get those two things established, and then of course they won't be active until you can actually have the other things done, and then that'll be your truck. You got to have your process agents set up, which is the BOC3. Process agent is basically what a registered agent is for your LLC. And let me back up to that. You also, when you do your LLC, you got to have a registered agent. That is somebody who can accept service process type letters or whatever on your behalf. Like if you're sued, you get served by a process server. So to be legitimate and legal, you have to have somebody at that address during normal business hours all the time that would be able to accept any process servers there giving you paperwork. So if you're just using your home address and you put your wife down or whatever, but she has a job during the day or something like that ain't going to work. And I wouldn't recommend doing it because you're putting all that stuff on public info. It's very inexpensive to hire somebody to be your process or your registered agent. So that's what I wanted to touch on. So in the other side of it with the DOT, your process agents, your BOC3s, is basically that. They handle all the paperwork on behalf of your company if you were to get legal papers and things like that. So you got to have that set up. You got to have your universal registration set up. You've got to get your HVUTs, your heavy highway vehicle use taxes. That's your 2290s. You got to get set up with your IFTA accounts for your international fuel tax agreements. You got there's 5 or 4 other states that you got to apply for. Your KYU HUT. HUT is your highway use tax. Your New York HUT, your New Mexico, your Oregon. A lot of people don't understand too. When you do, you need to get those, even if you don't plan on going into those states. If you're required to file fuel taxes, like if you're running, interstate or not. I mean, if you're only going to run in one state, that's different. But if you're going to get your MC number and run, several different states, then you're going to need to get these. So even if you don't go through Kentucky or go into New York City, you got to file, yearly, what you did, and of course the zero mileage. But if you don't, you're going to be fined, like $500. I know Kentucky's $500. I'm not sure what the other ones are, but you'll be fined if you don't file. And I see a lot of trucking people or little small companies or owner operators that have gotten, lost thousands of dollars because they didn't know some of these compliance issues. Do you have a driver qualification or a driver compliance file on your drivers? You need to have those things. And also keep in mind, you're going to get audited your first year. It's your safety audit. So you need to have all of your shit. You got to have the right size letterings on your truck. You got to have you can't just, use a magic marker. Well, I suppose you could if it was permanent enough, but, it's so easy to just, go out and have there's a lot of these truck stops have got the vinyl letter cuttering things. Have it done, professionally, and put the vinyl graphic lettering on your truck. But it's got to be the right size letters. I think it's 2 inches minimum. And you got to have a truck number. And everything's got to be. There's a lot of different things that you got to do before you can even, hook up a trailer and accept your first load. So a lot of people just. When you're an owner operator, you don't have the time to do all of that stuff. I did, because I had drivers to drive my trucks. Now, I didn't for about the first month. I ran my truck for about a month, 2 months maybe, and my wife was dispatching me, and I was trying to do whatever paperwork I could from the road, and so was she. And it can be done, but you're going to do a lot of work. So you really need to think about getting a dispatch service and a back office support service, or combine something like I'm doing. And there's a lot of people like me that do this. It's kind of a consulting back office business, whatever you want to do. And that's exactly why I named my company the way I did, Thunderstruck Transport Services. I didn't want it to just be Thunderstruck Trucking. I didn't want it to be tied to just one thing. Transport Services allows me to do a lot of different things without having to have my own truck. So that's what I've been doing in January. Those are trying to get that part of the business set up so that we can start offering those services to new owner operators, or even old ones that just want somebody. I mean, the advantage that I have over a lot of these dispatch companies, I've been out on the road for 30 some odd years, so I know where you guys are coming from. I know what it's like to sit in the frickin' docks for 6, 7, 8, 9 hours. Matter of fact, I got my buddy right now. He's up in Dunn, North Carolina. Been sitting on a load since Friday, and this is Tuesday, and he doesn't get unloaded till tomorrow. There was some kind of an internal glitch, and they wouldn't unload him. And I'm trying to tell him what I would have done. Not exactly sure if it would have helped, but he's new into trucking, or not new. He's been out here for like 8, 9 years, but he's always been a company driver. Never really had to deal with the owner operator stuff, and he's still a company driver, but he's got that mindset now. He's looking to buy a truck, and he's starting to learn all the different things. So I've been trying to tell him things that he should start familiarizing himself with, and giving him advice on how to handle certain situations, because it's not, you don't just call your dispatcher anymore, when you're an owner operator, unless you have a dispatch service. But even still, it's still your company. It's like me. I got, where I'm at now with this company, I got a dispatcher and I've got everything, but I still do everything. And actually that was him that interrupted my video. So yeah, so I mean, he's been dealing with that, you know, and not knowing how to handle it as an owner operator. I mean, he did, but I mean, I was just still probably butting in more than I should, just because that's the kind of personality I have. I've always been, even when I was a company driver back in the '80s, I always acted like I was the boss. I mean, I thought I knew better. Well, was that a mistake, right? But you know, I mean, this is just common sense out here. But you know, when it comes to the business, man, and I didn't know a whole lot about it till I got my own. I mean, I had, you know, probably, I mean, I had some certain ideas. I mean, I've always been interested in business anyway. So never been educated in it, just been self-taught, you know, a lot of videos, a lot of reading, things like that. So, and talking to other people that have their own businesses. So, you know, just been self-educated myself. YouTube University, though, has been great. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, don't take everything you see on YouTube, even this here, you know, for face value. You know, take the information out of it and then do a lot more research. You know, I mean, I've always said that, you know, if you find 15 videos on one subject and 7 of them pretty much had the same bit of language, you probably bet it's probably pretty darn close to being true, you know, but you need to watch enough to get the same thing. But anyway, so yeah, so there's just a lot to know before you. It's not just going out and buying a truck and getting your MC and your authority. I mean, you've got so many other steps that you got to look for. And like I said, it's a good 30 to 45 days of paperwork and all of that stuff that you have to have in place in your filing, and then you're going to get that safety audit, and they're going to want to see your driver compliance check. Your and they sell them at the truck stops at J.J. Keller. You know, just go buy yourself a driver compliance kit. You know, they're at the truck stops. It's got all the applications and everything. Oh yeah, plus you're going to need to get your drug consortium set up. You know, and I've got to get all this stuff put back down again. I had it all, you know, wrote out in sections. You know, business. You know, how to get, you know, LLC, S corp, address, phone numbers. You know, are you going to be member managed? Or are you going to be manager managed? You know, type of an LLC. All of those things. So, you know, I had it all spelled out, and then of course I had detailed info on each one. And I need to get all that put back together again. Same with DOT, you know, application, you know, DOT, BOC 3, your universal registration and all of that. And then of course under each little section I'm going to detail it out. So that's what I'm working on, basically standard operating procedures, SOPs. You know, so I want to make sure that all that is done before I launch, and because I don't want to give shoddy service to drivers that are out here, you know, busting their ass trying to make $1, because it's getting tough. I mean, it's always been tough, but you know, old person up there that's you know, our fearless leader. They say he's not he's not fearless, but you know, he's messing things up for us, you know, making it hard. But anyway, that's about really all I wanted to say about this one in this video, because I don't want it to be too long. So I've got a couple other products I'm going to do a review on here this week. I got a new headlamp, which I think is really cool. It's the Nebo Transcend. I was going to kind of go over that. I did do a video the other day on a bunch of stuff that I have, a bunch of little lights, and I lost one of them. My Baton 3 Premium Starry. Oh, I'm so pissed. I loved that light, and I switched trucks. My last one broke down, had a fatal error in it, so they put me into another truck. Took me over a day and a half almost to get all my stuff out. If you've ever seen the tour of my truck, you can see why. I mean, because I live in it. It's my house. And somewhere along the way, somehow that flashlight come missing. And, oh man, I've been kicking myself in the ass, and it sucks. But anyway, I do got a new headlamp, and I was going to kind of do a review on that and a couple of other things. I got a couple comments on that one video with my flashlights, you know. So anyway, Guys, that's about it again. I just want to say thank you. Been sorry it's been a while, but we're gonna, like I said, I'm in the middle of transitioning from getting out of this truck and into the other part of my business that's gonna take me into retirement and pass everything on to my kids and give me, now that I'm in Florida, God's waiting room. I want to spend the rest of my days sitting on the beach with my beautiful wife and just kind of enjoying everything. So guys, y'all drive safe, and if there are anybody that's looking forward to those types of services, let me know in the comments, and I'll get you some information. I'll hit you guys up. I'm hoping to get everything launched within the next 30 to 45 days. Not in a huge hurry. I just want to make sure that everything is good. But if there's any advice or anything that I can do, just like I said, let me know in the comments section. If you know anybody else that needs the services or whatnot, let me know. Like I said, I've been out here a long time, so that's one advantage I think that I have, over a lot of these other dispatch companies where these younger people are coming out with no dispatch experience. They're just taking a lot of these courses online, and some of them seem to be decent, and they'll get there. They'll learn over time, But I've already been there for a long time. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and y'all be safe. God bless.